Hello, everyone. Welcome to my presentation. I'm the presenter, Hyeok Cheon, and I hope you enjoy my presentation and have some meaningful time. Today, I'm going to introduce to you my research. And the title of my research is The Effects of Repeated Reading on Reading Comprehension in Different Text Conditions. Lots of research studies have been shown that students' performance in reading can be different according to the type of reading text given to them. So in here, text type means authentic text and modified text. The debate over whether to use authentic or pedagogically modified text is one of the longest running in the applied linguistic field. So previously, there has been studies on extensive discussion on the merits of authentic and modified text on reading comprehension of second language learners. And also there has been empirical research studies into the effects of text type on reading comprehension. Repeated reading is actually one of the key reading strategies in EFL context. And however, researchers have separately addressed the effects of text type and repeated reading. So I combined these two into this study. And also studies students' English reading proficiency levels are considered in this study. Reading comprehension consists of three components: general, specific, and inferential. And here are the text type conditions. Text conditions here are modified and original. There are also the name of the groups used in this study. So modified group performed the repeated reading activity with text in the textbook, and the original group performed repeated reading activity with original text online. The purpose of the study is to explore the impacts of repeated reading on reading comprehension in different text conditions. For this purpose, two aspects are considered. Firstly, the study focuses on their immediate effects, and as well as delayed effects. Secondly, three reading proficiency levels are taken into consideration. They are high, intermediate, and low. Another purpose of the study is to examine a relationship between text type and second language learners' perceived text difficulty. So 4 research questions are formulated. First one is, what are the immediate effects of text conditions in repeated reading on second language reading comprehension? And second one is, what are the delayed effects of text conditions in repeated reading on to reading comprehension? 3, what are the effects of text conditions in repeated reading on reading comprehension according to proficiency levels? 4, how do L2 learners perceive text difficulty according to text conditions? Now, let's take a look at the participants. Initially, 198 students participated in the study. However, 15 students failed to take more than 1 session of instruction out of 2 were delayed test. So finally, 183 students participated. All of the participants were first grade high school students, and they studied English for about 8 years, and they have the same mother tongue, Korean. Here is more information about number and percentage of the participants by group. In the modified group, there was 90 participants, 45 males and 45 females. And 93 students were assigned to the original group. There were 46 males and 47 females. Here is detailed information about the participants by their reading proficiency levels. As you can see, modified groups, high level students 27, intermediate level students 42, low level 21. The original group, 26 students were high and 42 intermediate and 25 low. So criteria for reading proficiency levels are mean score and standard deviation of the pretest. Pretest maximum score of the pretest is 15 because there were 15 reading questions in the pretest, and just 1 point was awarded to one question. So the maximum score is 15 and mean score is 10.03 and standard deviation is 3.335. So based on them, those who gained 13 to 15 points were grouped into high, and 7 to 12 intermediate, and 2 to 6 low. Reading material selection. For a modified text, I chose the reading text from the textbook published by Annie Nung-yul, and the title of the reading text is The Final Touchdown, and was adapted from the one which is found online in this website. I analyzed two text types, modified and original, using Flash Kincaid grade, FKG level, and text readability results from WebVP Classic. I briefly introduced to you FKG level, and there is a Flash Kincaid readability test, and they are readability tests designed to indicate how difficult a reading passage in English is to understand. And there are two types, the Flash reading ease and the Flash Kincaid grade level. I used the second one. So this Flash Kincaid grade level formula presents a score as a US grade level. So modified text, 5.7 and 7. Original text, 9.9 and 10.6. So the contents of the two texts, modified and original texts, are almost identical, but there is linguistic levels, different linguistic levels. Here are instruments. First, pretest and delayed tests. They consist of 15 multiple choice reading comprehension questions, which were extracted from 2017 and 2018 high school entrance exams each. So high school entrance exams are standardized tests. The 15 reading comprehension questions was divided into 3 types of questions: so general, specific, and inferential. There were 2 post-tests, one for each session. And it also consists of 15 multiple choice reading comprehension questions, and 3 types of questions also used: general, specific, and inferential. In total, 2 texts and 30 reading comprehension questions were there. And they were reviewed by 2 Korean teachers of English and 1 native English-speaking teacher. And the reliability was also calculated. Here is the Cronbach alpha coefficient figures. more details about procedures. So all the students in 8 intake classes were assigned and divided into 2 groups, modified group and original group. As I said before, 2017 high school entrance exam was used for pre-test, and it contained 15 reading comprehension questions, 5 for general, specific, and inferential each, and it was administered for 30 minutes. After 1 week from the pre-test, the treatment was given. So 2 sessions for 1 week. And the session was preceded with a repeated reading activity, paragraph by paragraph, not covering the whole reading text at a time. So here are the more specific procedures. Read 1 paragraph, not whole passage or text, 4 times. And then students solve reading comprehension questions related, and again and again. Finally, they check their perceived text difficulty on 7-point Likert scale. 2018 high school entrance exam was used for delayed test. It also consists of 15 reading comprehension questions, 5 are general, specific, inferential each, and it was administered for about half an hour. For data analysis, the SPSS 20 program was run. The significance level was set at 0.05 non-directional. And as I showed you before, Comba alpha coefficients were computed for reliability of the post-test. For homogeneity of 2 groups at the outset of the study, I used independent t-tests for pre-test. For immediate effects, 2-way repeated measures MANOVA was used. And for delayed effects, a paired sample t-test was used between pre-test and delayed test in each group. Also, in order to investigate which proficiency level can have more benefits from the instruction, I also used the pair sample t-test between pre-test and delayed test in each group. Finally, for learners' perceived text difficulty, I used 2-way ANOVA. First, let's take a look at the results of the pretest. Both groups did not show any significant differences, and all 3 types of reading comprehension: general, specific, and inferential. So they are homogeneous. For immediate effects, I used repeated measures MANOVA, and here's the result. There was a significant effect of text conditions over time. However, there's no difference between groups, and no interaction was found between the 2 variables. You can see the descriptive statistics for post-test here. As the results of the inferential statistics, there's a little difference between the 2 groups, and here and here. However, it seems there is a big difference between the post-test score from 1 from 2 to 2. Now, for delayed effects, the results of pre-test and delayed tests were compared through a pair sample t-test. So results are here. And in both groups, significant improvements were made. So here, with the showing large effect size, and here, showing small to medium effect size. More specifically, modified group showed these results. So there was a significant enhancement in general and information with a large effect size and moderate effect size, respectively. For original group, in the original group, there were significant results in general and influential with small to medium effect size, in both reading types, general and influential. To answer the third research question, the related effects of the text type were analyzed by reading proficiency level. So let's take a look at the high level modified group first. There was a significant difference in general here, with the showing quite a large effect size. And high level regional group, there was a significant difference in specific. However, it should be noted that it's not an improvement. It was an rather drop from 4.88 to 4.62 with a quite medium to large effect size. Okay. And now let's look at the intermediate level modified group. There were significant differences in general and influential with a quite large effect size here and here. And next, intermediate level original group. There was a significant difference in influential with a large effect size. And low-level modified group showed there were significant differences in general and influential with a large effect size each. And finally, low-level original group showed that there were significant differences in general here, so with a large effect size. To figure out a relationship between text conditions and repeated reading and perceived text difficulty, two-way ANOVA was conducted. And the participants rated their perceived text difficulty of reading text on a 7-point Likert scale. And the results revealed significant differences between levels and between groups, respectively, with a quite large effect size and medium effect size, respectively. Here are descriptive statistics for perceived text difficulty. So here, the lower, the easier. So it means high-level students show the low mean score, 3.33, and intermediate level students, 4.53, and low level students, 5.20. So high-level students perceive the text a lot easier than the intermediate and lower students. And here, modified and original, there's a significant difference, as you saw before, from inferential statistics. And there's a significant difference between the modified group and the original group. Now I'm going to discuss the major findings with interpretation. First, immediate effect. No significant difference in reading comprehension post scores was found between the two groups. So there was no immediate effect of text conditions in repeated reading on reading comprehension. However, there was a significant difference in reading comprehension post-test scores over time. So there was significant immediate time effect. It could be concluded that both text conditions, regardless of text type, have an immediate effect on reading comprehension. And the results could be caused by this practice effect or familiarity of tasks. As the procedures went on, the participants would increasingly get familiar to the activities. And the familiar learners are to procedures, the more likely they can get better scores. So it might be the cause of the results. Next, delayed effects. So there were significant delayed effects on reading comprehension, especially in general and inferential. So also in this case, practice effects might also applied in this case as well. And next, delayed effects of the text effects, delayed effects of the text type in repeated reading were further analyzed by learners' reading comprehension proficiency levels. So in the modified group, high-level learners showed significant improvements in general, and both immediate level and low-level learners displayed significant difference in general and inferential. So I conclude that students of all the levels were found to be significantly beneficial to the general item type in reading comprehension. Those at both intermediate and low levels were significantly effective in inferential as well. Now, in the original group, high-level learners showed a significant drop rather than an improvement in specific. And intermediate level and low-level learners displayed significant improvements in inferential and general, respectively, not both. In sum, instruction with modified text is generally more beneficial to all the levels of the students than one with original text. And especially intermediate level and low-level learner could have more benefits than high-level learners. In the case of specific, there's a little or negative, especially in the high-level learners of the original group. Impact could be seen. Now here are the positions of reading text difficulty. As you saw before, significant differences were shown between high and intermediate levels, and intermediate at low and high and low. So there is the higher level students were at, and they might fail, the easier they failed the text. And the Likert scale mean score of the modified group was significantly lower than that of the original group. So the modified group felt much easier than the original group. So generally, I concluded with regard to text type, modified text will be more appropriate to L2 learners. And finally, I'm going to talk about the major findings of the study, and then present some suggestions for future studies. So repeated reading, regardless of the text type, has positive immediate time effects. And it also has positive delayed effects on reading comprehension, not specific, but in general and inferential. In repeated reading activity, modified text could generally be more beneficial to all the levels of EFL learners than original text. Especially intermediate level and low level learners could have more benefits by using modified text than original text. The present study focused only on the reading. So other skills can be also be studied. So, and another suggested research direction is to include another experimental group, for example, elaboration. And one of the limitations of the study lie in a short duration of the study. So I think longer treatment periods lead to different results. So here are the references. Okay. And thank you for my watching presentation again. Thank you.